Hello, fellow teachers. This is a video about how to work grading forms in Turnitin.com for mixed level classes, honors, regular, and also how to include either advisory or included AP scores alongside your adjusted teacher scores. That's a whole lot of stuff, so this is a fairly long video. All right, so the first thing I do when I'm trying to set this up, when I'm assigning an essay to a mixed level class, and I'm also trying to give AP scoring as well as my own scoring to make the AP scoring less brutal, I start with the rubric that I'm going to use for the essay. So this is actually the paper rubric. Well, it's obviously not paper, but it would be paper if I printed it out, that I would attach to a paper essay. And so I make this in Google Docs. You could make it in Word. It doesn't really matter. But the idea is you want to have the rubric itself first, not on Turnitin.com. Because if you make the grading form / rubric on Turnitin.com, then it's really hard to copy and paste it from place to place. Also, you probably change your grading forms or rubrics a little bit every now and then, so it's easier to have it in Google Docs or Word doc. All right, so you start with your rubric, and I'm going to start by just copying the first thing I'm actually going to put into my grading form. And then you go over to the first paper you're going to grade, and this is, not actually any meaningful assignment for this particular thing. And you'll have some default grading form, I think, based on, how you normally grade. Mine is usually a different one than this, but one way or another, whenever you open the first paper you're going to grade, you'll have some grading form over here, or maybe not. And you just click this gear thing, and then you can enter, you can create a new grading form. So I'm not creating rubrics because I want a point-based grading form. So create new grading form. And then it brings up your standard grading form maker. And I'm going to take that first of the things I was going to do and just type it in there as the description. So this is the thesis points. And for me, a thesis is worth 4 points. So I put 4 points, thesis. And then I just kind of keep adding the various bits of my rubric in like that. Doesn't take very long at all, especially if you have 2 windows and you don't have to flip-flop because you're making a video. And you can just kind of build your little grading form here, which then makes the students know exactly what points they got and why. It also makes it super easy when you're grading it because you just type the numbers in as you go along. All right. Now, obviously, the thing that you're going to run into if you're running a mixed level class is the rubrics will be a little bit different. So I'm going to grab a one that I would only really use for AP students or my honors students. I'm going to put that one in as criterion 3. So I'm going to say sourcing, which I do use for my honors group, and that group for me is the circle group. And so I would say 3 points sourcing circle. All right, and so my students know that if they see this all caps circle, that's only for the circle students, the people trying to get honors in the class. And then I add another criterion, and for me, just to keep life simple, so I don't have to make multiple Turnitin.com assignments, which gets really spammy, and the students get confused because they turn in the wrong place, and then they have the wrong rubric. So it's easiest to have the same students, all of them, put their essay into the same thing with a single rubric. So for these guys, I might do like paragraph structure, and I'd have a description over here. And for this one, I should actually put this is for circle only, blank for triangle. All right, so that way people looking at it will know why there's something there. And for this one, I put triangle. All right, so it's the same number of points. And that way, if I am doing a regular paper, I just put the points in for the criterion for paragraph structure of 3 points, same number of points for sourcing. So the only tricky thing is you have to, actually match up your points, which requires a little bit of forethought, but it's, honestly really not that hard. And then the other thing you might do, and this is where it gets a little tricky, is this depends on how you're doing your essay, whether you're going to actually give points for the AP score itself. And for those of you guys who do AP classes and you want to give the AP grade, what they would get if it was graded by an AP grader, but also you want to give your own special, like easier or partial grade side, which is kind of how most of us do it here at West Seattle. So for instance, there's going to be 7 documents, and I'm going to give them a point if they even touch the documents, basically. AP would only give them 2 points. And so if you missed 1 or 2, you would just get 1 out of 2, which is 50%, whereas 5 out of 7 is a lot more than that. And so basically my points make it a lot easier. So the thing that's tricky is, obviously, if you want the AP grade to be part of their grade, which I do in an AP class, I add my like easier grading, partial grading to the AP grade for the final grade for the class. If I want to do that in that rubric without it being super complicated, I just grab this thing. So this is a, like, basically it's the same points over here, and it's like a stripped down version of the AP thing. So I grab that and I copy it over. And, I just make that right next to the rubric so it's easy to find. And then I go back to my paper. So if I'm going to include the AP score into the actual paper grade, you can put the thing here. It actually won't stay lined out like that. It's going to spam out a little bit, or like stretch out a little bit, which is a little annoying. But this way you can actually include the AP score. AP score. So that way the student would know, like, all right, this is what I would have gotten on AP out of 7, and then there's all the other points I would otherwise give. So this can get kind of complicated because you're going to have some stuff for only the regular kids. This would be, circle only if you're doing some really tricky multiple thing. But it's fairly straightforward if the students are used to the naming of honors and regular. And for my AP classes, of course, I don't have to do the circle triangle thing because it's just 7 points. And then this tells them what they're going to get. All right, then you need to attach the rubric. Oh, actually, first you need to save it. So I'm going to have to give it a grading name, and I'll say test form 38. Save it. And then I'm going to attach it to the rubric, or I'm going to attach this thing to the paper that I'm grading. All right, close. And then here you can see, so I'm going to grade this paper, and I'm going to, give my points over here. So let's say this was a circle paper and they did great sourcing. I would give them 2, and I wouldn't do anything here. Just leave that blank because this is a regular class, or this is an honors paper, so I wouldn't give anything there, and say they got like a 4 here on the AP score. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Oh, I know why, because this is the second time with this same paper. But anyway, so don't worry about that. That won't happen in normal life. And then eventually, when you're done, you apply to grade. All right. The other thing you can do if you don't want to include the AP score into their actual grade, but you want to show the students what their grade is, the easiest way to do that is just to take a text box like this, and since I still have that thing that I copied in, I believe here, the AP thing like that, I can just actually stick it into their paper typed like this. So say they had a good thesis, no contextualization, kind of lame document use, no outside evidence, good sourcing, historical complexity, nope, and looks like they got a 3 out of 7. I can just do that. And then the students will be able to see, like, oh, on an advisory level, this is what I would have gotten from AP. And so this is fairly straightforward. And then I don't have to put any points over here. I'm just telling the students, had the AP people graded it, it would have looked like that. And then there won't be any AP affecting score. It would just be, the basic points. This is how I do it with my freshmen, with my mixed honors regular class. So I don't have the AP score over here. I just have triangle and circle elements, equal points, and then I leave blank the one I'm not using. I do tell them what they would have gotten on AP at the end of the paper, but it doesn't affect their grade or not. It's just kind of an advisory thing, and that tells them how serious AP grading is. All right, so basically you're just going and you're making a grading form, not a rubric, but a grading form. You're copying across from your rubric. You need a little shorty version of the AP score down here that you can type in. And then, once this is all done, you can kind of roll through it pretty quickly. I just keep that window open as I'm going along with this thing so I can copy it really quickly, because obviously I'm going to be cutting and pasting occasionally throughout the paper, so I'll constantly need this thing open. So I just leave it open in a tab so I can, at the end of each grading time, just come to this tab, copy that, chuck it into the paper, do the grade. Boom, done. So it doesn't really take all that much time. You can still differentiate between honors and regular. You can actually differentiate between honors, regular, and also include the AP grade. So it's a little complicated, but if your students are used to having some kind of designation between regular and honors, you could even write it that way if you feel like. I just am PC about it, so I don't. You can set up a single rubric and an AP score, or not, if you want to do it this way. And that way you don't have multiple turn-ins on turn.com, and the students can see exactly what grade they got and why they got it. Hopefully that was helpful. Thank you. Bye.